This is African American hair, but it's not your traditional African American hair. It's been straightened. Okay, so this gentleman is mixed with something. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get to know the hair. And the way to do that is to brush through so you can actually see where the hair is growing and the different ways. Okay? This will help you when cutting the hair because you know when to go with the hair and when not to go with the hair. Okay? Because if you go against the hair, you're basically gonna cut lower. Okay? And first thing I'm gonna do is take it down. But this particular style here is thick. It's very thick. So what you basically want to do is bring it down but leave it thick, nice and smooth. So it's basically like a mini fro with waves. All right, take my handy little brush, comb, and we just go with the waves. Just that simple. You go with the flow. It's just like a stream. Wherever it's turning, you have to turn. You see how I turned there? I went from here, then I went down because that's the way the hair was going. That's very important to get a remarkable cut. It's best to always start off with a higher guard because after you cut the hair, you can't put it back on, period. Okay? So it's best to start high and go down low. Now, if you'll notice in the back, even all overs or any hair has problem areas. Normally it's in the front or down here at the back. Occasionally you'll see an individual that has 2, maybe 3 different swirls. And some people have a swirl just on the side. But the 2 problem areas are in the front and the back. And again, the trouble area, you just have to go with the flow. But the flow, the current just goes every which way. But it's the same process. You can also, if you're really not good with backs, what you can also do is just put a higher guard and go against the grain. As you can see, we're even. Has his waves intact, but he still has his thickness. Okay, there's no scalp showing on this. All right, now we're going to line. You always want to go as natural as possible. Okay, as natural as possible. Okay. This is the line. As you can see, he has some thinning areas in here. So the line goes here, drops off a little bit, and then goes down. Sides are pretty straight and even. Okay? So the first thing we have to do is prepare the area to be lined so it can be sharp. So what we're going to do is take a scissors and just trim this down a little bit. Okay? Just to smooth it out. The first thing I do with the line is I determine the middle area. Okay? That's the first thing you have to do. So, I look at where I want to go. Okay?
I'm going.
So, I've established my middle area. Okay? The next thing is to do the points. Okay? This is the points right here. These 2 here have to be perfect for everything to work because when you're making the oval, you have your front here and then you make your points going out the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 lines. One from this point out to here, other from this point out to there, and we're going to make them as even as possible. Okay? Now all we're going to do is just connect the dots. We already had a point here, we have 2 points coming out equal. Now we'll just connect it. Play with it a little bit and try to get it as straight as we possibly can. But never mess with these 3 lines, because those are already straight. Okay? So the only thing you can really play with is the connection of the dots, and you should be good. And there we have it. Okay? Simple. So now we have the front. Alright? We have the front. And that was the hardest part right there. Now, when we look at the sides, here, sides are pretty much already where they are. Okay, so all you have to do is just follow that. But the important thing with making this line here is wherever it points on the eyebrow here, that's where it has to do it over there. And you also have to be conscious of what kind of angle is that. Okay, because you need to make that same angle over there. Alright? Now, if you will see, his is pointing here, right at the tip of the eyebrow. So that's where we'll have the next one also point. Okay? Now, this next part, they would like the sides curved, like a half moon sort of thing. Alright? And he wants it to come down to a point. Some points are longer than others, some points shorter than others, but you know, if they say they want it in a point, it's basically just just a point. The point will probably be right here, because this is where his sideburns stop. Okay? First thing you want to do is comb it. You comb it the way that individual combs it. And you always should ask the client, which way do you comb it? Because if I draw the line like this and he combs it this way, okay, that's fine. But what if he combs it this way? Okay, you see your lines won't be as sharp. So, combs it this way, and we want to make the same thing that we did on the top. It's the same thing that we're going to do again. Okay? 3 points. You basically have this point here, and you have this point here. Then you just connect them in an oval. Alright? We're going to make our first point. Okay? And we're going to make our second point. Now, with the corner of the clipper, just make a little indentation of how far you want to go in. Okay? So, I think right about here. Okay? So, now, I just connect it. And that's how you basically make the oval. Okay? Now,